morning! How is everyone doing today? Hi Ven, hello Kijor. I was reading and doing the loading. I'm sorry that you have to go to work. And I would have loved to hear what you would have said about Latria, about the Domina games. How is everyone's morning so far other than that? And I hope you have a good day at work too as well. Super simple, mind gamey. Even bluffing is viable, yeah. You're out. Bye, Keyjoy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Jamata. Bless the people. Hi, Spooky. Good morning. How are you doing? How are you doing today? Ah. Today we're doing some more card sleeving. Your morning was getting up at 6:30 a.m. and having to study. What are you studying, Ven? What are you studying? Do you have an exam coming up? You had a good day. 4 weeks vacation? Wow, what are you gonna do on your 4 weeks vacation? Do you have plans? Do you have plans for your 4 weeks? You have to do something amazing, or do something that you've never done before. You're hungry? Yes, you can put in an order of pancakes. You want pancakes or waffles? Sorry. You study computer science to make video games. Oh, that's exciting. Maybe someday we can play a game that you've made, that you've worked on. That'd be very exciting. What are the kind of games that you hope to make? Like, what's your dream game that you want to make? Games for SN? In the end of it? That's at the end. That's gonna be big. Oh, but what about leading up to then? Pancakes. You refuse to work? Brain cell isn't working right now? Oh no. Are you okay? Did you get enough sleep? Get your brain cells some nutrients. Maybe it can work. Game dev is fun? Yeah. I like doing writing for games, but I don't think I can do actual coding. Just trying to think of it. My brain was just like trying to shut down, like, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Don't even think, like, what is it? Like, cross something. If this, then this. If this, then that. Oh, you want to make RPG, but you love roguelike and Metrovanias. I don't know, but probably your first game well made can be done within 5 years. You're starting right now in your game. What do you use? Do you use Unity? I know if it's an RPG, you can use the RPG Maker, but I don't know if that's like a different coding platform, because RPG Maker, it's kind of like you're given the building blocks and then you have more adaptability if you know how to code. But then Unity is kind of like a clean slate and you can build the building blocks. So I don't know which one is a better platform to make RPG games. Too much Spanish reading in the last days? Fed up and you need a break. You work freelance, so you can choose when to flip the table sometimes. Oh, I see. That's good though, Pot. You can work and you can take a break whenever you want to. But as long as you're like really how do you say, disciplined enough to be able to get back into work as well. But yeah, your idea is to make a lot of RPG. Oh, you're using Unreal 5. So, 3D? 3D games? Mm. Do you know how to do pixel work? Pixel art? Wait. Computer science. So only the coding, right? You're only doing the coding. You're not doing any graphic stuff. So no 3D modeling, no pixel art. You're just the brains. You're just building the brains of the game. Take a look at Cataclysm. Dark Days Ahead. It's a free open source roguelike. You might like it. Ah, yeah. I've heard a lot about it. And Blender for the models. Oh, you use Blender? So you do 3D modeling. I'd be interested in seeing what kind of 3D models you do. Blender is daunting task. Yeah, 3D modeling, there's a lot. There's a lot to do with 3D modeling. Yes, you're really disciplined. Your house is an absolute mess right now. I think it's time for you to clean up. I think you need to clean. Pot, I think you need to clean. During your break, you gotta exercise your mind to clean. Got CDDA open in another screen. What is CDDA? Just did the dishes. Not everyone is a robot. What? I'm not a robot. What do you mean? I still have to clean the cafe, okay? The cafe still needs to be cleaned. I still need to do unboxings of some things and clean and store and put away things. There's still a lot that has to be done on a daily basis. A lot of cleaning. How do you think the cafe stays up and tidy? Not me. You want to be an indie video game developer in the future. I mean, that's so cool. That is so cool, right? And you're kind of covering everything. You're doing the 3D modeling, you're doing the coding. I'm sure you can write the stories yourself. So that means you've got your bases. And unless you don't know how to do music, and then in which case you would need a music buddy. But you know. Yeah, see, you write a lot. See, look at that. You're the next what games? What games have like one person developer? I've heard Undertale was supposed to be one person, but I've also heard that that's not true. Is it who made Undertale? Was it Toby Fox? Or whoever originally made Minecraft? All by a single man. That's you. You're the next single person that made this one amazing game. If you make I know you said RPG, but if you make it multiplayer, you might start popping off. As long as it don't end up like Phil Fish, you're cool. The maker of Fez. Why? What happened? What happened to Phil Fish? What happened? Toby Fox is the one who made Undertale. Notch made Minecraft. I mean, it's a lot of work, of course, but little by little you can do great things. Yeah. I really like look up to people that do that. I really look up to people that just kind of they want to do something and they don't let things get in their way, and so they become jack of all trades and cover all the bases, you know. Instead of being like, oh, I need graphic person. I mean, not skilled graphic person. Friggin' Toby Fox? Mm. The sprites are like, the sprites are chunky, but it didn't matter. People made so many fan art. Really, really beautiful fan art too of it. So like, it doesn't matter. I had a friend, who refused, who took one look at Undertale and was just like, "It's disgusting. What is this pixel garbage?" Like, she was so critical of it and was just like, "No, it's unacceptable. I like my HD graphics, my HD Twilight Princess graphics, like Zelda graphics, like high res. Give me them pretty boy polys." Um, but then another friend of mine was like, "Here, let me open you to a whole new world. Sit down and let me play the game for you for an hour. Just give me an hour," right? After that hour, she was just like, she fell down the Undertale community so hard and was making so much fan art. She made so much fan art. She was just like, "This is a beautiful game. This is such She's like, "This is such a beautiful game." Fun fact: Toby Fox doesn't know how to program. He's a good artist, so he uses Game Maker. Oh? Game Maker? So he didn't need to do a lot of programming? Not even really? Oh. You're super inside in the community? It was something. Oh, really? I've never played sorry. I've never played Undertale. Um it's too creepy for me. No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I really like the game. Hi, Board Game Heaven. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. um, I idolize the game. I idolize the game. It's really great, really amazing. Don't get me wrong. It is like a really, really great, amazing game. Um, but it it creeps me out because it breaks the fourth wall, and I'm just like, I don't think I can have this exist on my computer. I can't. Um, it's too creepy. It's too creepy. I don't want this game to be like heavily embedded. It's embedded into your computer and you can't get like you can't get rid of it by normal means. It's still hidden somewhere in there. Just wanted to ask if you'll also be present at I won't. But I know Eric will be there. Eric's going to Essen. Mm-hmm. I won't be there. I might get a call in. Eric might call me. We'll see. Are you going to be there? Are you going to be there? I would love to be able to attend sometime. Maybe 1 year in the future I'll be able to go to Essen. It sounds really, really amazing. I would love to go. It is a great game. Is one of your favorites? I mean, it broke down barriers. It was like, it changed perception. You recommend it a lot? I'm gonna cry. I already know all of the... I already know all of the spoilers. Undertale? Yeah, Undertale. Cool, thanks. You'll be there all the days? Mm-hmm. Let me know, let me know. Let me know how it is. I look forward to seeing all of the pictures from there. Indeed. You're shooting footage? Oh, to make a video report. Oh, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see all of that. That makes it even better, because that means you really know how to use a camera. Hmm. You have like all of the setup and everything, like a gimbal. Do you have like 4K camera? Stabilizer, gimbal. What's the equipment you use? Do you just take recordings, footage, or do you do live stream as well? Hi Victor, welcome. You made it. You made it. You did. You'll be visiting the Japanime booth too. Maybe they'll have time for a quick interview. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Eric loves that. He's so pro. He's so pro at talking about everything because he's done it for so long. You don't know it was fun, but it didn't resonate with you, Undertale? You liked chilling with the depressed ghost though. Oh. Speaking of philosophy, come fifth out of 45 people in a philosophy contest. They will give you a mention in a book? Really? With a diploma and everything? Wait, how do you become fifth? Wait, how do you have philosophy contest? How do you philosophy contest? How do you do philosophy contests? So yes, you're happy. Congratulations, congratulations. That's really amazing. Now, nothing as professional as that. You use a tripod to interview and just film as you go, then edit it all together. I mean, oh my goodness, that's still really cool though. That's still really cool. I wish I knew a lot more about video editing than I do. I'm still really basic. As a hobby, hey, as long as you do what you enjoy, then that's really good. It is a good hobby. Yeah. I actually really like video editors. I'm in awe of some of the things that they can do now. I'm always on the lookout for video editors, but also at the same time, I always look at tutorials and try to do things myself too. If you're interested, you have videos of previous years. Just Google? Yeah, I'll definitely take a look. You'll be doing a review of Ramen very soon. Fun game. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Ramen is such a fun, simple game. It was pretty easy to pick up too. If you do the review, let me know. Or post it in the Discord. I would love to be able to look at it. Yeah, I am on the cover of the box. I love it. I love the way... It's gonna sound so vain, right? I'm just like, I love the way they captured my eyes on there. Very, very alluring. Very captivating golden eyes that just stare into your soul. You will do? Yeah, I look forward to seeing it. Thank you so much for sharing. It was about writing an essay on an ancient philosopher from your country. You did such research that you literally spent 3 months writing. Oh my goodness, how long did the contest run for? Changing and thinking about it, you managed not only to gather the thoughts of the current generations, but also of the past ones, remembering the mundane inheritance to the transcendental, managing to reach beyond the infinite and arcane, seeing everything from simple logic. Oh, the robot developed. No. Here's a philosophy question for you that I was watching. What was I watching? I think I saw it. I saw an you know the previews on Netflix? I saw a preview on Netflix of this show that I think I might be interested in watching, but I'm not 100% sure. But it opened up with like a dilemma, philosophy dilemma. So let's see. I'm curious. I'm curious to what you guys think. Okay. So there are, let's say there's 5 patients that each have a different organ that's failing. And despite everything you've tried, without organ replacements, they will die. Then you get one patient in who, if you intervene, you will save their life. But they are a perfect match. Their organs are a perfect match to the 5 that are dying. And if you just don't treat them, you can use their organs to save the other 5. What are your thoughts? What is the best course of action? I heard this question during the preview of the show, and I was just like, AI robot and philosophy bad mix. Well, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? This is Skynet incoming. I'll let you think. I hope I said it right. I hope I said it correctly. So you have the 5 that will die without organ replacement. You can't treat them. There's no other way to treat them other than getting them organ replacement. And then you have the 1 that will live if you treat them. But if they die, they are a perfect match for the 5 that need the organ replacement. What do? What do? As a doctor, right? You have the oath to save lives. So then where is your oath? Like what do you do? What is the priority? Because if you don't treat the 1, that's more direct, right? That's more direct. But then you're letting the 5 die. Or is the oath to save as many lives as possible, in which case you let the 1 die? Hippocratic oath compels the healer to try save all. The moral thing to do for medical philosophy is to try and stabilize all that are about to die, but the best of your ability and save the 1, the perfect donor. But the other 5 will die. The other 5 will still die. The best you can do is make them comfortable, because they'll die without the organ replacement regardless. There's no treatment. There's no treatment that can save them other than organ replacement. The best thing you can do is ask the possible donor what they would want to do. So you do palliative care. Let them die with dignity. Also this. What did you tune into? Organ replacement? Somebody dying? We're talking about a philosophy question. Philosophy dilemma? A dilemma question? Lessening the pain for a humane death in chronic cases like cancer. And also keeping in mind that even perfect matches can have issues. Scrubs actually covered this in one of... yeah. I know that episode. That was very sad. They chose to do the transplant and the organs ended up having a disease which killed everyone. Yeah. That one, it wasn't so much that they had the dilemma choice, but yeah, you're right. There still could be complications with organ. But that's also like I've heard not necessarily horror stories, but I've heard scenarios where, like, you know how you have you can have the donor sticker on your ID. I've heard that if you have that, on your ID, they don't need to ask you if you pass, right? They don't need to ask you if you passed. But I've heard like horror stories where it's like they see that and then they have someone else that they need to save, so they don't treat you on purpose so that they can give the donor to someone else, give the organs to someone else. I've heard horror stories where that's a possibility, where they don't treat you if they notice that you have a donor card. But I'm not sure if that's true. It is a complicated question. This comes from questioning morality itself, as our being good or bad, the fact of sacrificing something for something greater or for a benefit, regardless of what it is, always ends up against our morale. But what do you care about that person? That you have a relationship with him or her? Wait. Here we can use Kantian idea. Depending on the context, for what purpose would you take that person? Why should I do such a thing? Why should I let some live and not others? In the end, the decision ends up depending on time. In the end, the decision must be quick, because if not, the time eats up everything. Yeah, they don't have a lot to, they don't have a lot of time left. The 5 or the 1, technically you have to treat them. Somebody has to be treated, basically. In this case, we come to the conclusion that it depends not only on one, but on the other. How much of you are you willing to give? How much of you is willing to destroy morality? And how much of you is dependent... Oh, sorry. Reading. How much of you is something that comes from wanting or needing? At the end of the day, if you do not decide the time, tangible and incalculable, is whose, right? Yeah, actually, if you don't make a choice, I guess they all die. If you don't make a choice, they all die. You gotta go, Ven? Aw, I'll see you later. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for humoring the morality question. Anyway, I suppose we should get right to it, right? Philosophy questions aside. That was a really roundabout way of saying I don't know. I mean, you have to decide. And you have to decide which one is more detrimental to you. I mean, in the end, yeah, it's different for everyone. Which, because I know, like for instance, in the trolley question, the answers tend to change, right? You wanna save as much people as possible, but then when the answer is to actually like intervene and it causes someone else's direct death, then the answer might change. It might change because people don't want to directly be the one that pulls the trigger. So it depends on people. What a way to start the morning. What a way to start the morning, right? Anyway, let me go ahead. I'm gonna switch over to the streaming screen, but I think I'm also gonna get some water as well. So I might have a little bit of a loading time. You save all of those you can. Expecting perfection from others or yourself is a great way to be miserable. Hydrate, redeem, when? We're still trying to figure that out. I haven't done the documentation yet because we're still trying to figure that out on the back end. I know, I'm sorry it's taking a lot longer than expected. But let me be right back, okay? Hello. So let's go ahead. Is this a good volume? Bum, bum, bum. When will I get redeems? Soon, hopefully. We're still figuring things out on the back end. But don't worry, soon. We're still trying to figure things out. I'm sorry about that. I know you guys want to be able to interact with me and save up points and stuff like that. I look forward to it, and I'm trying to think of cool redeem ideas. That would be really enjoyable for you guys. Here are the 3 games. So we've got Night Clan, Latria, and Margot. I don't know if we'll be able to save all of them today. So let's start with, which one do we want to try first? Let's go with I can't choose. Let's go ahead and do Margot. Let's do Margot first. Yeah? So for Margot, I'll read the back of it. Oh, and if you guys notice, I upgraded the camera so that you guys should be able to see things a lot better now. See? It looks a lot better than last time. Let's see. Margot. A tale for the ages. Tell me, friend, have you heard of the Margot? These fairies brought good fortune to the people of Ranvale, amongst whom they secretly dwelt, and in turn were revealed by all that is, save for the wicked witch, who despised the fairies, and the human king of Ranvale, who drove them from these lands, never to be seen again. But what became of the Margot? Were their tiny flames extinguished in the face of such evil? No, for as long as we still believe in them and continue to tell their stories, I know they will be out there somewhere. Thus, I continue to tell the tales of my grandfather. Oh, wait, sorry, I read that wrong. Thus, I continue to tell the stories my grandfather told me when I was a young lad, the tale of the brave Margot. See, and the back. Look at the art and the cards, it looks really cool. Let's go ahead. We were talking about fairy tales last stream, weren't we? And how a lot of them aren't the same, or at least what we assume to be the stories. Because a lot of them were just kind of warnings for children. Don't go into the forest. There's gonna be a witch in there that eats you up. Don't do this. Don't do that. There's a Baba Yaga out there. I've been hearing a lot of Baba Yaga stories recently, which is very interesting. Not intended. Not intended by any means. There you go. But there's like two different ones that I've heard. There's like one where there was a girl that went into the cabin and there was a cat, and the cat was just like, "Oh, you're gonna be eaten," and the girl's just like, "Please help me," and the cat's just like, and the girl's like, "I'll give you cheese," and the cat's like, "Man, I can't resist cheese," and the cat's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll tell you. You have to do this. When you get to the fence, do this. There's a creaky oil thingy." Like, basically, a lot of the objects along the way were asking for assistance, and the girl obliged, and they all let her through, and the Baba Yaga's just like, "Why did you let any of these, like, why, like, I think on the way in, like, the Baba Yaga's like, fence, if she tries to escape, make the loudest creaky noise to let me know." And you're like, "Will do." And she's just like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And the fence was just like, "Listen, she oiled my joints. When was the last time you oiled my joints, Baba Yaga? Like, for real." Oh, these are so cute. Oh my goodness. So these are some of the components that we've been playing. And they've got little fairy tokens. The little wooden fairy tokens in there. And these are really adorable. Good old Baba Yaga, bone leg. Does she have a bone leg? I've heard that Baba Yaga story, but there's other ones, right? She has multiple, not just one story. She's got multiple stories, not just that one. Well, that's what you call her in Russian? This has really nice art. It does. Look, and then you guys can see it now because I have a better camera. Look, look. Wow! Flower fairy. Look how pretty that is. It makes so much of a difference. There's loads. What's another one? Do you know of another one? I forgot all of them. She's a huge folklore character. There's plenty of cartoons with her. Yeah. Does she have the rule that, like, she can't go into a home unless invited in? Is she like a vampire where she needs to be invited in? Her and her chicken leg house? I heard about the chicken leg house. I heard that one. I know that one. There was, what was it? I know there's a video game that made reference to the chicken leg house, but that it was all a hallucination. I'm trying to remember what game. What game had it? Don't mind me. I'm just struggling with packaging. We'll also look at the Bell Fairy. So this one is fairy themed. A lot of fairies. Honestly, last time you've watched any cartoons with her was a long time ago, so you forgot all of it. Bringing shame to your roots? No, it's not shameful. Don't worry about it. I don't remember a lot of things when I was younger. Smite has her as a playable character. Her ultimate is that she gets in her chicken house and you can shoot others from it? Really? Oh my goodness. I was watching a theory, a game theory where some cooking game is theorized to be based off of Baba Yaga as well. I don't know the cooking game. Russian folklore is wild. I didn't realize. I thought she might have like 5 tails. I didn't realize she was so like constant. I didn't know she was a constant thing. She's like the witch, right? The one and only witch. Mainly for eating kids. Why the chicken leg house? Why the chicken leg house? Is there a reason for that? And when was that used in this story? Did she chase someone down in her chicken leg house? Plastic, why? I don't want to damage the cards. My struggle is real. Ah! Oh, wait. Maybe I have scissors. Salvation. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Where am I? She's in a lot of children's books. There's lots of cartoons based on her and other characters. Like the three-headed... Well, the three-headed dragon is based on her? What do you mean? There weren't trailers of medieval Russia? Oh. Are you trying to say she needs chicken legs to be able to move around? Three-headed dragon story of 3 strong men who protected the ancient lands. Good stuff. 3 strong men? Did they have to fight a 3-headed dragon? As in they're all in the same kind of folklore together. Like the 3-headed dragon had something to do with her, but you forgot what though. What are her abilities? Like what are all of her abilities? I only know that she eats kids, but and has a chicken leg house. But what are some of her other abilities? Honestly, the story that the one that I told just now with the girl and the cat, she seemed pretty calm. She was just like, "Hello, girl. I invite you in." Because I think the girl was her stepmom tried to get her killed by sending her into the forest or something like that. And I think in the end, she ended up bringing home a bunch of money or gold. And so the stepmom tried to repeat it, or step-sibling, or someone. The person who tried to send her to the demise tried to repeat that. And ended up ignoring all of the other appliances, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Because I do remember one of the tasks the girl had to do was like empty her pockets of seeds, and trees grew from behind her. So the Baba Yaga couldn't follow her properly because there was a lot of trees everywhere. She's a witch. Hates when people do something to the forest. She flies in a big crock pot. Oh, she flies in her crock pot? And the chicken leg house is sentient. Has a mind of its own but doesn't speak. I see. It doesn't speak. Boop. Boop. And for this, we've got some Margot card sleeves for the game. More unwrapping. More unwrapping. Just a big old pile. Up, I'm like holding it up to the microphone so you guys can hear it all its glory. Okay. So like I showed off earlier, we have the Bell Fairy right here. You can see right there. It's so cute. This art is so cute. Do you guys have heard the tale of the smart tailor? I have not. What's the smart tailor? That one was one of your favorites when you were a kid? I'd love to hear it. I love hearing all different kinds of fairy tales. No clue why it's a chicken leg, but it's hilarious. Part of me feels like I wonder if it was Lara Croft, like a Lara Croft game that had the Baba Yaga chicken thing. Don't need the plastics, also an hour mark. Cat was causing a ruckus, no problem. So this one's the chess fairy. Look at that. This is really beautiful art. Disenchant one fairy tale in the field or move it to the mirage. Then disenchant one in the field or move it to the mirage. So it kind of seems like there might be 2 cards of each, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. His name in Portuguese, oh no. Wait, his name has a number in it? Jiao Mata 7? Or in English it would be John. John? John? Who killed 7. Oh, so he has a full title in his name. So-and-so killed 7. There's the canvas fairy. Painting. I love how elegant the art looks. The art is just so elegant looking. Is it John? Am I supposed to be pronouncing that as John? Jahan? John. So John was a poor son of a tailor. His parents died when he was young, and he wasn't a very good tailor. So he was poor and lived in a dirty little shop. So then what happened? He had to practice more tailoring. This one is Mask Fairy. Disenchant one fairy tale in the field or move it to the mirage. Then gain 1 victory point. So cute. I've heard people pronounce this so that I'm saying Margot. I've heard it like Margot, Margot, or Margot. The place was dirty and full of flies. And he was fed up of working with tailoring because frankly his heart wasn't really into it. He just had the tools and figured why not? I mean, what did he end up doing? Sure, it's a French name? So you don't say the T, Margot. Okay. Margot. I figured that was the case, but I wasn't entirely sure. Music Box Fairy. This one's so pretty. Choose one card in the field with... What? Focus? There we go. Disenchant or move to the mirage. I really like music boxes. I collect music boxes. So this one's really cute too. Has anyone ever wished that they could go fairy hunting? You know, like where they say like if you see a bunch of mushrooms in a circle, that's a fairy ring. Specifically mushrooms. Or is it I know there's like flower circles, but I've heard like a lot of toadstools and mushrooms. Those are called fairy circles. Book fairy. Choose any number of disenchanted cards in the field and move them to the mirage. One day when he was frustrated because he couldn't make money to buy proper food and his place was dirty, why didn't he ever clean his place? Like, sure, if he doesn't have a passion in tailoring and he struggled and didn't make money because of it, fine. But why was his place so dirty? Why didn't he take care of himself? Why didn't he clean? He can clean. He can be bad at tailoring but still clean his place. You can still clean up after yourself. Tailoring and cleaning are two entirely different things. But let's see here. It was dirty. He slammed the table with all his frustration and killed 7 flies in a single slap. Wow, that is intense. That's some intense slapping. Oh, we've got, okay. Oh, this is interesting. So these are all soldier cards, but they all have different sayings at the bottom. So this one, so you can see the art. That's a real nice looking soldier right there. Don't move, he says. And this one says, Wah, and shudder. And this one says, what do we got? Your tricks won't work on me. Monster. John went, holy crap. I killed 7 flies in a single slap. It's hard to kill even a single one. Screw this place, I'm out. So John Su, he sewed all 7 flies to his belt. How do you sew? They're so tiny. Why would you sew them onto your belt? And went adventuring? The flies don't give you a buff. You don't get a buff from flies on your belt, John. Oh, John. There's not even a defense buff from that. Eh? Oh my goodness. I hadn't even been looking at the back. Check out the back. Look at that. That looks so cool. Okay. I just assumed the back was the same as the card sleeve. It's very pretty, yeah. Okay, so we've got 2 for the knights. Let's see. Does that work? Okay. So we've got the 2 knights. One says en garde. The other one says for the king. Look at that. Long drapey cloak. I think it's a cloak, right? Maybe. Then there are a lot of mini stories of John diffusing all kinds of situations and winning monsters. Just being a smart... Just being so full of sass. I like how killing 7 flies at once, he was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go on an adventure. Take these flies with me. Why would you sew the flies to you? What benefit does that have? Just go on an adventure. You don't need to take the flies with you. Did he use his sewing skills to solve things on his adventure? Did you clean up my No, Look at the sorceress. Look how pretty the sorceress is. Come, fairy, let's have some fun. Look at that staff. Look at how much leg she's got. She does not miss leg day at all. Yeah. Come, fairy, let's have some fun. Yeah. Come on, Barney, let's go party. Very pretty. John was weird. You love him. You have no idea why that fairy tale weirdo Sue flies at all things to his belt. Good set of fables. Wow. So this one is the Unyielding King. Check out the art on that. When this card is placed in the field, enchant all soldiers in the field. Begone, foul vision! And he's got like a giant mace. Wait, can it focus on that? Can we? Oh yeah, look at that, look at that! Look at that. This mace has got a face. Face mace, face mace. Did you clean yet? Activate evasive maneuvers. Hi, welcome. Charlotte Myth, hi, how are you doing? I'm just sleeving my cards because I have a bunch of new games and I don't like playing I don't like playing my games unless they're protected. I did it again? What do you mean? Did what again? Look at the Tome of Legend. Oops, I'm sorry, I hit my microphone. Ow. Tome of Legend. There you go. It's a book. Tales passed from generation to generation fill the pages of this tome. Like voice? What's wrong? What's that? This is it's a card game called Margot. And it has very, very pretty art. Let me see right here. See? Margot. La Fée. Oh, thank you. It's really embarrassing. How's your day today, though, Charlotte? sorry, is it Charlotte? Charlotte? I looked again. I saw the O. Oh, another Tome of Legend. You guys embarrass me. I can't put the card in. I'm embarrassed. Wait. Okay. There we go. I did it. I'm okay. This one's cute. I really like fairies. This is really pretty. Portrait of Paradise. That's really pretty. You know, for a little bit of time, when I was learning magic, I originally was just like, I want to make a fairy deck in Magic the Gathering, but it's so hard because they don't have a lot of fairies, in my opinion, that are very viable for me. I'm just like, they're all, I think a lot of them were black cards, red cards, anything but blue. This one's called Fairy Melodies. Fairy Tribal is pretty strong nowadays, really. And I was trying to make a blue fairy deck because they came out with that one, the fairy tale themed one, the fairy tale themed set, and they had that blue fairy, the planeswalker blue fairy, and I'm just like, well, because someone told me, they're like, if I'm new to making a deck, I should go find a planeswalker that I like and theme my deck off of them. And I'm like, well, they're blue, they're a fairy, and so in my head I was just like, there must be a lot of blue fairies that I could try to make a deck out of. But that exactly wasn't the case. I'm sorry, I keep hitting my microphone. I apologize. Fairy tale sword. Oh my goodness, that's a pretty sword. Look at that. It kind of looks like a butter knife, though. An enchanted blade that belongs in the hands of a true king. The handle? It looks like a butter knife. The size of the handle. You kind of have to use the sword with your pinky out. Gotta be fancy with it. So we have more soldiers, but if you look at the top right, it says Witch's Castle instead of the town. Whoops, rotate. There we go. See, it says Witch's Castle. Resistance is futile. Renwell used to have a chance. In terms of like small and fairy like environments, I keep thinking about like Thumbelina. Actually, what is the original Thumbelina tale? Cause I only think about the cartoon movie, and how she almost married a frog. But what's like the original one? Is that really it? Were they true to the origin? I'm not sure. Thumbelina. You know Thumbelina? Thumbelina. I think she was born in a flower, right? And then wanted to try to find a place of her own or something. So went on an adventure and fell in love with a fairy guy, fairy prince or something. And she was so small, but she was just a tiny person, and the prince was a fairy. And on her adventure, she almost married a frog. But at the end of the movie, she ended up growing her own wings. Or something. Mm-hmm. She became a fairy because she believed. You never saw that one? I was wondering, I keep thinking about that as I'm sleeving these cards. I keep thinking about some Thumbelina. I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty okay. So this one's the Witch's Castle Night. You can see right there. Let me turn this light off. Boop, boop, boop. There you go. Less glare, less glare. On my honor. Stop. Why have you come? Why have you come? The other one that I'm thinking about is the Studio Ghibli Arity. But that one isn't fairies. That one's not fairies. But that one's small. Small people. Borrowers? Like the Borrowers. I actually have never seen the Borrowers. What's another one? Isn't there that one children's movie? They're like fairies, and there was that bat. Wasn't there also that movie? The fairies, and it had that one bat, that one mascot bat. I'm assuming it was something about the forest being taken down. Nim? Is that what it was called? Oh, only one sorceress. So this one's white instead of red. Foolish fairy. Ooh, she's got some leg exposed. She's got some exposed leg. Wow. Wow. The Secret of Nim? Is that what it was? Is it The Secret of Nim? We're not confusing it with the one with the mice, right? Am I confusing it with the one with the mice? I thought the secret... Is the Secret of Nim not the one with the mice with the stone? Wait, am I confusing it? Because I remember that one. The one with the mouse that wore the red cloak and has the stone. Ah yes, that children's movie with an environmental message and a quirky mascot animal. That's a classic one. It had mice and fairies. Secret of Mim. That's okay. So I think I am correct. That's the one with the mouse with the red cloak and the rock, like the big old stone and stuff. And did that have the sick porcupine? Was that the one with the sick porcupine, or the skunk with the kid? The parents died. Your friends await, little fairy. Is this a witch? It looks like she's kind of got wings though. Rapping bat? Did it have a bat? But that wasn't the one I was originally thinking about. The one I was originally thinking about where it had a bat and it had the main character was a fairy. She was a fairy. Secret of Nim doesn't... Does it have fairies? I know it had a mouse. So this is just the witch version. It looks the same though. But the main character had like short black hair, like a short black hair bob, and her outfit was like brown. It was brown, and then there was that brown bat with the big ol' eyes. Secret of Nim was a good movie though. I like that one. I remember at the end the mouse had to use the pendant, right? And it burned her hands. So at the end of the movie, her hands were just all wrapped up, and there was the kid in the bubble, right? Like he was sick or something, and he had to stay in the bubble, and he was like, "Aww." Everyone else is having fun. He's like, "Wah." I don't remember this other one though. I don't think they're from the same movie. They're from different movies. I know that. So this one says Vivian's wand. Focus? Thinking. If you draw the unyielding king, you may disenchant this card to return the unyielding king to the top of the castle deck instead of placing it on the field. I'm sure there was a sequel to this movie, or maybe not. Epilogue? So here we see we have the card list. So we have Ranville Castle and then the Witch's Castle. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look through like what numbers are different. So the Witch's Castle only has one Tome of Legends, whereas Ranville Castle has two. Witch's Castle has two Portrait of Paradise, whereas Ranville Castle only has one. I'm gonna sleeve them. I'm sleeving them. On the back they do say right here. Maybe I should sleeve these in clear sleeves. Because they have a back side right here. So this, if I can get it to focus. There we go. It has the victory points on there. So maybe these ones should be clear. Give me a second. All of my sleeves are trying to have like a panic attack on me. 4. I turn around, I go to my shelf, and all of my sleeves have just kind of collapsed and have like a sleeve avalanche. I have a sleeve avalanche going on back there. There we go. I'm like trying to make sure this isn't my penny sleeve. There's a good chance it might be my penny sleeve. It's okay, we can use this for right now. I think the only other fairy tale, there's Another one that comes to mind is the one. Good to know you're not the only one with a disorganized workspace. Hey, it's organized enough. I'm still in the workings of organizing it. There you go. So now I can see both sides. Okay. The fairies. Oh, there's a lot of flower fairies. Oh, there's a lot of fairies. Oh, there's a lot of fairies. Oh, there's so many fairies. Oh, there's a lot of flower fairies. Oh, there's quite a bit of flower. There's a lot of flowers. Okay. So, once again, this is the flower fairy. It's so pretty. I'm not quite sure if I can discern what flower she's holding. I can't quite tell. Oh, see the back. Oh my goodness. What? Look at the back. Look at the back. Wait. Ah! See, so this has the back that I was expecting. Okay, flower fairies. Flower fairies are different. Flower fairies are special. It's very pretty art. It is. It is very pretty indeed. So we'll put these here. Pull this aside. We'll start putting the fairies right there. I'm a little bit sad now that I didn't sleeve this later as opposed to doing the other ones, because now I'm just like, we have so many fairies and I'm wondering what the other games art will be like, and if they'll, I mean, I'm sure they'll still be really pretty, but I'm just like, fairies, how can you beat fairies? But I'm sure I'll be amazed, because if I remember correctly, Lachia is about constellations. So that'll be interesting to see. That'll be very interesting to see. Do you guys have a favorite flower? Sunflowers all the way. Why sunflowers? Is there a reason? It just looks pretty. You like the brightness. You like that they stand tall. The symbolism, meaning of them. Have you looked at the symbolism of flowers? Oh. My camera's light has turned on and refuses to turn off. There we go. Their fields are so pretty. They turn to the sun in a cute way, and they are perfect for lazy afternoon gardens. They don't need a lot of care. Sunflowers don't need a lot of care. I've hugged a sunflower before. They've got really sturdy stems. They're very, very sturdy. But they are really pretty and bright. Very bright. Very big. They're so big. As much as other flowers? Never had much problem when you had one in your dad's garden. So this one is Quail Fairy right here. If the total number of cards with one in the field and the mirage is 3 or more, you score 1 victory point. What flower do I like? I think I like, there's a lot, there's so many, it's so hard to pick. I think I like... This one says Ink Fairy. Focus. Think about it. Think real hard about it, Mr. Camera. Your sis is the one with the true green thumb. She lives right next to a giant metropolitan airport and has a massive garden in her roof of all things. Roof gardens are amazing. I love roof gardens. I've always wanted to have a roof garden. Or like I'm like envious of like the urban lifestyles where you can have roof access. I just want that. I want that. I think that's really cool. Looks like Babylon Garden from outside. You can see it even from the landing. Any flowers the bees like is good enough for you. That's right, spooky. Armor Fairy. Disenchant this card after you rest. It kind of looks like she's using a jar lid for a shield. It kind of looks like that a little bit. Any blue flower is your favorite? There's so many. There's bluebells. There's hydrangeas can be blue. Tulips can... Wait, can tulips be blue? I don't... Gotta... Oh, we gotta open another one. Plastic ASMR. That one's the microphone, I'm sorry. Hydrangeas are pretty awesome. Yeah, I like that the color can be dependent on the pH levels of the soil. I can't remember which one's which. Pink if it's highly acidic, blue if it's base, or it's the other way around. It's one of those. think you can get some really cool multicolored hydrangeas. Originally, I thought that I thought hydrangeas. I thought their color was dependent on whether or not it was raining. Because I saw in an anime where it was one color, but then it turned blue when it was raining. So I thought it was based off of when it rained originally. And then when I started looking into it more, that's when I read that it's based off of the pH level. You wouldn't know, never planted or took care of one? Only saw blue ones though. Yeah, they have blue. They can be blue, they can be pink, they can be purple. There's so many different colors they can be. I think I might have seen red hydrangeas as well. This one is Flute Fairy. I can't imagine what it's like playing the flute. I know you need like the reed, right? For a flute. They tend to grow pretty far south from there, from where you're at. You saw purple ones too? Yeah, there's purple hydrangeas. They're so pretty. I like the multicolored. I'll have to get some for the cafe. They can get pretty big. Hydrangeas can get pretty big. Hydrangeas can be like giant bushes, I think. Oh, this one's so cute. So, almost dropped it. Almost dropped it. So this one is called Replica Fairy. You could take a look at the ability right there. I really like the red. It's very bold compared to like the very soft art style. It's very bold. I'm trying to think what other blue flowers there are. There's a lot. Aren't there, what's the, not the poppy? Lion, it's the lion something? Lion flower? That one is also blue and very multicolor. Hey, it's a door fairy. That sounds familiar. Like, I think there's door fairies, like actual door fairies in fairy tales. Just guarding the door. Baby's teeth? Is that a flower? Baby's teeth? I've never heard of baby's teeth. Breath, baby's breath. There you go. That one I've heard of. Hibiscus? Hibiscus are blue? That is true, that is true. Hibiscus are blue. Blue or red? I've seen them more red. I've seen them red more often. Chariot Fairy. the way they do the wings. Tulips? Tulips don't count. Why do tulips not count? Why do tulips not count? Why do you not count tulips? Why? 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 Here's the clown fairy. He's pouting. He's doing a bit of a pout. They can be any color. Yeah. Have you ever been to a tulip garden? There's so many colors. It's just like being saturated in so many colors. What kind of genetic lottery is this? At least make them smell bad. So what I'm hearing is that you don't like tulips because they're too good. They're too good. Here is Shelf Fairy. Oh, she's got a music sheet back there. This is very adorable. Well, you know what, Pot? I like tulips. I've been to a tulip garden. Oh, they're so bright. So many colors. Screw this tulip rose flower meta. You want different flowers? I didn't realize tulips was a meta. I feel like people don't like tulips because they're just a bulb, right? They're just a bulb. There's not a lot of like ooh sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? The petals are so plain looking. At least they're plain looking. At least with the rose, it's just like ooh fancy, ritzy. You know what I mean? And then you get the wildflowers, and people are like, wow, the petals. It's all about the petals, right? I guess that's the downfall of a tulip, I think, is that the petals are kind of plain. So this one's Spyglass Fairy. Focus camera. Think about it long and hard. Take a good long look at this and just think long and hard. She kind of looks like Violet Evergarden. Like she looks like, is it Violet? Is the character's name Violet? I know it's not exact, but just the hair tie I think is what made me think about it. Even tulips being they're better than roses. Tulips are better than roses? Why? Just because of all the colors? So you like colors over anything else. I always thought tulips were like very plain looking compared to all the other flowers that get to be fancy. This one is Compass Fairy. There's a mouse in that picture. There's a mouse there. Jokes aside, you like all plants? Mm-hmm. Have you ever had the plants that eat? I've always wanted to have like a Venus flytrap or the bellflower. Is it the bellflower or just a bell plant that eats things? I'd be like, that'll solve all my pesky bug problems. Just get a bunch of those. Really weird way to carry a U-size compass on your back? Well, yeah. How else? How else do you carry it? Oh, this boyo be ritzy. This is the coin fairy. Take a look at that boyo. Sitting high on him stacks. Them stacks. You don't know, like heavy luggage? Just carry it one-handed? I'd rather backpack it. That'd be a lot easier. Crumple the wings. Oh, I guess you're right. I forgot. These are fairies. Well, maybe that fairy doesn't fly. Well, the wings are out there. I don't know. And then, of course, we have got the flag fairy. Very pretty. That was a very neat hat. Cute wings? Yeah! Hello, Cooks. How are you doing? Can they fit? Can these fit back? You're good? How's the stream? Stream's been going pretty well. We were talking a lot about folklore, fairy tales, fairies. We talked about philosophy dilemma and stuff like that. I'm being weird. I'm being weird. Oh no, I didn't slide it in flat. Ha! But stream's been going good. How's your day been? Are you working today? Ah. Okay. Do we want to... Do you want to do Latria? Or Night Clan next? Sorry, focus. Camera. Part of me wants to see... I really want to see Night Clan. But there was a lot of intrigue for Latria, so I think I might do Latria. The Latria art looks neater. Yeah. So Latria is about constellations. From what I understand, you take bids on constellations, but because the constellations change and move, it's like a bidding game. Why not both at the same time? I would get confused. I would get so confused. So if we read the back right here. In ancient Babylonia, people believed their gods lived amongst the stars, and that the movement of these celestials through the vault of heaven influenced their own earthly fortunes in the world below the Welkin. The wise sage Chaldea has decreed that the one who could predict the movement of the three great celestials, Sol, Luna, and Polaris, would be recognized as the agent of the gods. Correctly divine what futures the celestials foretell, and the crown of Babylonia will soon rest upon your brow. And then you can see right there. So we've got Polaris, we've got Sol, Luna, and Eclipse. Pop. There. You know, when I first opened the box, it feels so empty. It feels so empty. These are so cute. Okay, go. A lot easier. We're gonna try to speed run this, right? Because we still have another one. How amazing would it be if I sleeved three cards, like 3 games? Oh, there's so many. There's so many. Oh, there's so many. Okay. Okay, wait. 2-hour mark. I saw. Okay. This is Eclipse. So this is a bidding game, from what I understand. Or guess. Well, not necessarily guessing, like prediction. Eclipse is so cute. Oh. I was just saying, like, where's my Latria sleeves? I have Latria sleeves too. Looks weird. How? That's very pretty. So we got a couple of souls here. Up to there. So it looks like there's different numbers on them. But we also have the art. And this one's so nice because the art is like a full body, full card art. Look at that. Hey, there's your sunflowers. Pots, there's your sunflowers. Hi, welcome back, Board Game Heaven. How are you doing? What game is this? Is this from one of the new trilogy? Yes, it is. It's from the trilogy boxes. This one is Latria. We finished sleeving Margot 2 seconds ago. Lovely artwork. Yeah, they're amazing. They're really, really good. Huge sunflowers? Yes, they were big sunflowers. Do you have pictures of sunflowers? Pots? The sunflowers that you've had before? I'd love to see them. Love the sleeves too? I know, right? I have the one for the game so that I can match it. I wanted to try to match the game as best as I could. And I was really excited to sleeve these ones because the art is really, really pretty. Okay, and then we've got more soul. Ba, ba, ba. Up to here. Yep. Oh, look, there's more sunflowers. There's more sunflowers. Pots. You're gonna be so excited. Look at this. More sunflowers. They're just all sunflowers for you. They heard your plight and they have provided you all of your sunflower needs. Sunflowers, yeah. Not really into taking photos. Kinda got a grudge on photography after mandatory university course. It was mandatory for you to take photography in uni? Really? Like as an elective? Like was it straight up mandatory to take photography, or was it just you were required to take some form of artistic elective and you chose photography and hated it? So adorable. I know, right? They're so cute. I love how soft the art is. It's very soft. If it was an elective, Pots, you can't blame it being mandatory. You could have taken anything else. I like photography though. Photography is really nice. Being able to capture memories. And of course, who can't forget the Dutch angle? So everything just tilted slightly off canter. Make things look more dynamic. I don't think there's any sunflowers in this one. You can see the art right there. I love the color of her hair. Do I know the rules already? Not exactly. I haven't read the rulebook, but I've been told, so this is basically like a bidding game. You're basically predicting the celestials. I read the back earlier. So yeah, you have to predict the movement of 3 celestials. So it's a bidding game. You're basically playing the role of astrologers, and you're just trying to predict. And the more accurate, you know, the more points you get. Have you played any of the old Domina games? And then have you played any of the new ones? Hi Cotton, how are you doing today? Oh, you have not? Of the old ones? And the stars are anime girls in flower fields. The sky sages of Babylon would be proud. Ah, so we have another eclipse. Eclipse is an interesting one. There's Eclipse. I really like Eclipse. You have not? Neither of them? They're definitely really nice. The sets are really nice to pick up because, you know, you get the trilogies, and each game is different. So this one's a Luna. There we go. You really are just collecting artwork in the game. You just woke up? You're about to start doing housework? We were talking about doing housework. We were talking about keeping things clean. It's nice that someone is very diligent, keeps things tidy and nice and clean. Just saying. Just saying. Hopefully it's not a lot to clean. Hopefully it sounds like you've been really diligent and you don't have to do a lot of cleaning. Maybe. Okay. Oh, Luna looks so cute. Luna is so adorable. Sleeping and doing dishes? Ah, I see, I see. So this one is Luna. I know I say it a lot. Like, the art is really nice, how soft it is. I say it so much. I don't know how else to explain. Just hello, camera. Focus. Think about it. Think about it, camera. Think about what you're doing here. There you go. It's like having to give a peace offering to the camera. That's what it feels like. Having to give peace offering. Oh, snap. I should separate it, right? Because there's separate piles. Or I mean, like size. That can fit into the box. Sleeping and doing dishes. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I should do some sweeping around the cafe as well. I have to do some sweeping. I got one of those Roombas to do the sweeping, but I haven't used it yet, and I really want to. But the problem is, I went and I bought a rug, right? So that means every time I want to use this Roomba, I have to lift this rug up, And also on top of that, I got the non-fatigue floor mats. So I would have to list those up. So now I'm just like, why Roomba? Why? What purpose? We all did our housework over here. Everything is all nice and clean. Whatever little cleaning we have to do, we can do later. I guess it's fine for you to take a break, Pots. Your kitchen is spotless. One complete victory. My kitchen is clean too. Though I do believe I might have to wash some dishes. Another eclipse. These eclipses are very ominous. Very ominous. There you go. I love, like, they're very ethereal looking. You don't trust Roombas? Why don't you trust Roombas? What have they done? Do you have Roomba story to tell? You finally bought a scanner to scan your drawings on paper, so now trying to connect your graphics tablet. Wait, trying to connect your graphics tablet so you can add color to your black and white drawings from paper. I used to do that because I prefer doing the drawing on paper than the drawing digital. I'm just so used to it. And I would basically, you know, there would be tutorials online for how you would get, like, you would ink it in on paper and then you would scan it and then you'd change that into line art. And there was like one particular tutorial that I would follow to try to isolate your line art and then color that from ink pen. There's actually an old webcomic that I used to read called Contemplating Reiko, I believe. And that one is all done by scans. It's not digital art. They're not done on digital. So they're all pen drawings and scanned, and then that's the comic. And they look very, like, fine detailed for being pen. Pen can be very detailed, right? But then, you know, with digital drawings now being very prominent, it's very interesting to see an actual traditional drawn comic. They could be Decepticons? Oh no. That's so true, Board Game Heaven. They could be Decepticon. Actually, you know what? Every so often my Roomba does make noise. It just goes boop boop. When I pass by it and everything, it makes noises on its own, and I haven't even triggered or talked to it or nudged it. I haven't touched it. And every so often it's just like, hey, I'm still here. Remember that I still exist? Boop boop. You've seen some Roombas with knives taped to them? I mean, that's people though. That's humans. Humans do that. This one's Polaris. Ow. Very water. Very pretty. That's enough for you to think of a robot takeover? People do really weird things. They have battle bots. Battle bots where they fight each other. And then people, you know, normal people that can't build their own robots but have Roombas, they're just like, listen, I can do the same thing. Sticks a knife to the Roomba. See? Battle bots in our own home. Which I guess in that regard, it's kind of creepy. Easy access battle bots. Pens can be very detailed. You love drawing details with pen? Yeah. Did you know? So like I drew a lot with pen because they last longer. In terms of like, have you ever drawn something in pencil and then just from age, the drawing fades because obviously it's like it's graphite, so it like rubs off or fades or whatnot. So I grew accustomed to drawing with pen because it doesn't fade and it lasts a lot longer. And drawing with pen, obviously, there's no eraser for it. So you actually learn how to have good control, line weight control, if you draw with pen. You have to control like how hard you use the pen because everything's permanent. Everything's permanent. So if you want to try practicing line weight, just always draw in pen. Everything's permanent. There's no takebacks. No takebacks whatsoever. You deal with every stroke you put down. Very cute beep boop sounds. Beep boop. Beep boop. Here's another one. Polaris is very water-based. Look at how long and nimble the legs are. All leggies for days. Leggies for days. You like that meme where people tape a lot of dangerous things to Roombas? I saw there's a YouTuber online. The crazy robot person, the crazy robot boy. Robotics boy. Michael Reeves? Where he had a voice actor voice over his Roomba. And anytime it would run into things, it'd be like, "I'm dick!" And the cutest kawaii uwu voice ever. I loved that. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Roombas are planning something, but they can't even think. I had a Roomba. I had purchased a Roomba from a different brand. So it wasn't a Roomba. It was called Bobby. They were so sweet. The people that made Bobby were so sweet. I bought Bobby and then like they gave me a care package and were like, "Thank you for adopting Bobby. Thank you for accepting Bobby into your family." I'm like, "Wow, this is nice." And then like for my birthday that year, they sent me chocolates. I'm like, "Oh my god. Did they know my birthday?" And then 1 year later after the purchase, they're like, "Hey, it's been a year since you've had Bobby. Happy anniversary." And they gave me more chocolates and I'm just like, this is extra. I bought this vacuum like a year ago. And they still remember that I bought this vacuum and they're giving me chocolates for it. They're so sweet. And then this is the last Polaris. Chainsaw knives, guns, claymore knife onto a Roomba? How can you fit a chainsaw onto a Roomba? Chainsaws are huge. You remember a teacher saying he used hairspray to save his art from doing that? Oh, that's true, that's true. They actually do hairspray, but hairspray is kind of sticky. But they do have sprays. I know that for sure. They have sprays. But I hated spraying my art because if you do it too much, you could potentially ruin it during that spray session. Legs for days, legs melt you. You remember that he got Lily, yeah, Lily Pichu to do the voice. Do not believe the streamer Aki is a robot and this is all elaborate propaganda. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? No. Don't say such blasphemy. I am just a regular human. Cyber information warfare? What are you trying to say? Michael Reeves and his girlfriend Lily Pichu. They weren't going out at that time though, were they? Not at that time. I don't think. Bobby being best boyfriend. Best boyfriend material, Bobby. Yeah, yeah. Oh, did I mess up the... Well, they're fine. And that was Latria. I might be able to do it. I might be able to sleeve all them. Last one. Night Clan. If I remember correctly, this one is about trying to protect your daughter. So you're basically... I remember you have to hide. You have to hide your card underneath other cards or something like that and keep stacking them, if I remember correctly. Just give it a circular chainsaw around its circumference. You like those battle bots? Have you seen? There's some really fast battle bots. Like really fast ones. Not the ones in the US, but like there's other ones where they last like 2 seconds. I think it's not necessarily destructive, like destroy them until they're no longer incapacitated. There's it's like battle bot sumo, where they have to push them out of a ring, and those guys are so fast. They're so fast. Can you post a link for Chainsaw Roomba? You can post it in the... where... You can post it... I guess that would be considered a meme. Is there a meme channel? In the Discord? The Anthology box? Unfortunately, I don't have the box. I have the individual games, but I don't have the full box. Yeah, I have the individual games. I didn't get the Anthology, like the big, I know what you're talking about, the big one, where they're all sitting together. I'm reacting like this because I'm gonna need to get more of the large sleeves. I'll show these off to you. But I'm gonna put them back in the plastic because I don't have the sleeves for these ones. You guys know, if you guys were here during my last card sleeving, you guys know what sleeves I'm talking about. I have like the hard plastic sleeves. I don't have sleeves for these ones. These are too big. These ones, oh, look at that. Look how cute that is. Oh, I didn't read the back. I realized I didn't read the back. Let me read the back really quick before I continue. Unforeseen card size. Unforeseen. Oh my goodness. Oh, these are so cool. Okay, wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting too distracted. Hello? Let's see here. Night Clan. In the northern city of Bergen, there lived a duke with 7 beautiful daughters. One day, a masked man appeared before the duke with a warning. That night, when the sun set, a forest giant, the troll, would assail Bergen and carry off the duke's daughters and wealth. Night Clan is a fast-paced area control game with a hint of deception for 2 to 4 players. As the Duke, you must hide your daughters and the riches in various locations around Bergen to shelter them from the troll. Outsmart your opponents and try to figure out what everyone is up to. Best art so far. I was really looking forward to this one. Yeah, I was really looking forward to this one. Sumo bots, yeah. You've watched Robot Wars, the UK show, way back when? It had the actor from Red Dwarf. Really? Which one? Which one? Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean, I didn't mean to... I mean, which one? Was it the cat? Was it Lister? Was it, what was the hologram? Or Holly? There was Holly, and then Rima? I'm being calm and cool and collected, and I'm gonna show off the cards. Wow. Best art so far. Look at the actor's name, Dave Lister. Oh, Mr. Lister, sir. Lamp shop. Oh my god, the art is so beautiful here. Yeah, definitely need to get some sleeves for these ones. The church. Look at all this. The library. These feel like Bloodborne. These are like Bloodborne, like dark aesthetic. Like Bloodborne dark aesthetic. Look at that. Oh, old castle. These are all the different locations that you can hide your cards underneath. The tower. Oh, is this kind of like Rapunzel? Is that what we're going for? The palace? Well, the trolls definitely gonna look in there, don't they? The bar? Hide your daughter in the bar, guys. Hide your daughter in the bar. And the Black Forest. That's not ominous. That's not Baba Yaga or anything. Goodbye, daughter. You're going to Baba Yaga. She's gonna babysit you. It's okay. It's better than the troll. Better than the troll for sure. Awesome British accent. Craig Charles. Dark Gothic. Yeah, awesome. It's a great idea to hide the daughter in the bar. They'll never expect it. Craig Charles. I don't know the act. I don't know the characters by the actor's name, unfortunately. I just know the characters. There was the cat, Lister? Dave Lister? Maybe? Holly and Rima. I didn't mean to get so excited. I didn't realize... Was he was the host? As the host? Lister was the host? Now I'm gonna have to look that up. They were supposed to make a Red Dwarf movie, but it's on hold. They haven't done it, and I don't think they will anymore because the actors are so old now. Yeah. The actors are so old. Hide the daughters in the troll's den. The troll will never expect it. That's true. They'll never look there. Why would they be there? You're still watching the original show? You're on season 4, you think? Oh, I don't know when I stopped. I don't know when I stopped. I know I know it was like a constant, or at least for me. I know I only remember the seasons based off of the Kachanskis, because the actor for Kachansky never stayed the same. She was always different, and they would all she was always different. So there was like the original Kachansky, and then there was like the blonde Kachansky, and then there was, I think there's a different Kachansky, and then there's also Holly, and then the other Holly, like the other dimensional Holly, where they went and there was like the opposite gender versions of themselves. Oh, it's been so long since I've seen it though. Let's see. Oh my. Okay, daughter. Wait. Okay. Troll. We've got troll. -2. And, of course, Night Clan. You used to watch it on TV, but I'm horrible at following. Yeah, same. I hate TV scheduling. If I'm a binge watcher, so if there's something I want to watch, I need to have all access to it, so that I can watch it all at one go, all in one sitting. So you only saw bits. You're doing them in order now, so good. Same. Yeah. From one binge watcher to another. Of course. Have you seen? Oh my goodness! Don't make me go off on. So this is the troll. That's what the troll looks like. Look at that. Oh, there's the daughter. Daughter better run. I remember the tongue tied. Have you gotten to the part? I don't remember what season was what. It was such a long time. Here's mistletoe. These are so pretty. I love how elegant everything looks. There's that song. Girl, you make me tongue-tied, tongue-tied, whenever you are near me. Tongue-tied, whenever you're around, girl. Do you know that one? This one's riches. So we've got more fairies. A lot of gold and riches. Look at that. You remember having to wait a week for new episodes and not understand that the season end when there was no new episodes. I know. They haven't finished it. I don't think the show's complete, right? Like the last season, there was no actual ending. I haven't watched it all. I don't think I've watched it all. I don't know when I stopped. I just remember the last Kachansky I saw was blonde. That's all I remember. I have to get back into it. I want to rewatch it again. But it's kind of hard because so I was watching it with I was introduced to it because of a relative of mine. They were like really into it, right? And they really liked old stuff. And I watched it too. And I think a lot of people that I try to introduce it to, they don't really get, like the dry British humor. But I think it's funny. I think it's so funny. Here's the daughters. You've got to hide all of your daughters, okay? They all look the same, but you know the difference. You know all of your daughters. They're all very pretty. Oh, I want to watch Red Dwarf now. You think one of the last episodes you saw was the shape-shifting alien? And remember, oh, I forgot the robot too. What was his name? The robot. It started with a C? K? Was it K? And Rimmer wanted to save it. So he created the Committee for the Liberation and Integration of Terrifying Organisms and the Rehabilitation into Society. One drawback with that, the abbreviation. What was the abbreviation? Oh! What? Crichton, that's right. Crichton. I remember Crichton. Which one is your favorite character? What's your favorite character? I remember, oh my god, the only things I can remember right now are like from the first season, like from the early seasons. That's the only thing I can remember, like how Lister had to take an exam so that he could be superior officer to Rimmer, and everyone thought he was taking like the captain's exam or something like that, and he's just like, no, I just need to take one above you. I just need to take one above you. I'm just like whatever mechanic whatever. So now you have to call me Mr. Lister, sir. There's the night watch. Cat is amazing. I know Cat is so amazing. I love Cat. Look at the night watch. Very Bloodborne-esque. Oh, so pretty. Today's fish is trout a la mode. Enjoy your meal. Fish! Today's fish is trout a la mode. Enjoy your fish. I don't remember what the actual meal was. Fish! Today's fish is trout a la mode. Enjoy your meal. Oh, I forgot about the bags. Look at that. And there's a little fairy on top too. I'm getting so hyped and excited talking about Red Dwarf. I'm like losing my mind. What was the show's name? It's called Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf. It's basically it's about this, how do you say it? I guess it was this colony ship that had a bunch of people. So this one's an orange troll. So I guess this is the different players. Or red troll? Orange, red, kind of burnt, rusty burnt. Anyway. Colony ship, and everyone on the ship, how do I explain it? So essentially, Lister, is he a mechanic or is he a janitor or something? He's like the lowest ranking officer on the ship. And he got in trouble because he brought a cat on the ship. And they're like, no, the cat could be like infected or blah, blah, blah and stuff like that. And so he was punished by being put into cryostasis. And during that time, there was some leak that happened that basically caused everyone to die on the ship, except for him. And so the ship's AI released him after an X amount of time once the radiation has cleared up. And so he's the only living human. And he's basically just trying to find his way back home. And his only company is his cat, which had evolved. And basically like how they say apes evolved into humans. The cat did its own evolution into a human. And then the hologram of his shipmate, like his bunkmate, which was the one person that like annoyed him. Red Dwarf, a BBC show from the early 90s. Sounds fun. Anyway, this has been lovely. Wish you could chat more, but you have a game night tonight. Playing the One Ring RPG. Oh my goodness. So you gotta go? Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for stopping by. It was such a pleasure to meet you and to talk with you. Yeah. Enjoy the stream and the Red Dwarf reminiscing. Yeah. After a million years. Yeah, it was so many years. Everyone was dead. And the computer was kind of like, you know, I've been alone for all this time. I'm a little bit off the rocker and whatnot. It was the space show. And it was just full of comedy and everything. I loved it. And then there was that one where like Rimmer was invited to have dinner with some like really important people, and he was just like appalled. They gave him soup and he was just like, please heat up my soup. What is this? What kind of blasphemy is this that you're trying to feed me cold soup? And everyone just laughed at him because he was served gazpacho, and gazpacho is essentially cold soup, and he was just like, what soup is served cold? And he was upset about being an embarrassment. And here's the blue version. This is exciting. I think this game right here, based off of looking at it, I feel like I can understand the game mechanics pretty simply just based off of looking at it, and this might be my favorite game. I'm excited to play this. I can't wait to play this. I'm excited. This might end up being my favorite. That is a huge troll. It is. But it's a furry, huggable troll. Very furry and huggable. Adorable. It's funny though. I think in the music video for Tongue Tied, which is what the cat sang, I like that the daughters have different dresses. So you can see right there. The palm of my hand? Why? You can see my hands right here. But how are you doing that? Let's see here. Obviously tough. Well, this must be some kind of aromatic thing or something. Wait. I think I read I missed something, didn't I? I once was on a fancy restaurant and they served a water bowl with flowers and lemon slices in it. That's like to wash your hands, isn't it? Or to like help get rid of like if you're eating with your hands. Must be some kind of aromatic thing or something. So you took the bowl and you took a sip. That's supposed to wash your hands, isn't it? That's supposed to be to cleanse if you eat with your hands or something, or whatnot. If it's bigger than your forehead, you have cancer. But anatomically speaking, your hand is supposed to be as big as your face. You learned that in drawing, in art class. It was mildly soapy water to clean your hands because you're to eat with your hands. I knew it! You drank the hand cleansing water. You did it with such confidence though. You looked at it, you're like, yep, must be legit. They've got some lemon slices in it. It must be. Like lemonade. Flower hibiscus lemonade. Is that what you thought? Is that... Didn't even flinch? It was baller? Oh my god. You were gusto. You were very gusto about it. Yes, indeed. Exactly. Ooh, the green one looks so good. Look at the green troll. Look at that. I know it's the same picture with different coloring, like tinting, but like from afar, it just looks like it glows. Look at that. Do you see? That green really shows. That green really shows from afar. It looks so cool. I'm trying to think if there was anything like that I've experienced, but I don't think so. I know I had a relative where when we would go to restaurants, she would ask for them to bring her a bowl of hot water, like a bowl of hot water, and she would take all of the utensils from all around the table and put it in the hot water as like an extra measure of disinfecting. You've never embarrassed yourself in public? Oh, I've embarrassed myself all the time, but I mean in terms of like restaurants and misunderstanding an item on the menu and stuff like that. This one's pretty. I'm trying to think if I've ever done anything like that. I'm sure I have. I'm pretty sure I have. All the time. Absolutely all the time. Especially if there's like a food item that if I don't understand how to eat, I heavily like ask the person that knows. I'm like, please instruct me. Give me very thorough instructions. how does this how to? And the night watch. Oh, I think I've thought of something actually. I've thought of something. I'll try to make it quick. Um, there was one time I was so you know at the cafe we do delivery sometimes. On rare occasions, we do delivery at the cafe. And there was one time, the kitchen in the back was just like, hey, there's an order for Eggs Benedict. And they gave me the Eggs Benedict, and I had to go and take it. And on my way there, the cafe, the chefs in the back were like, oh, never mind, canceled order. You can have the Eggs Benedict. I'm like, okay, sure, that's great. I'll do that. But as I'm walking, I saw that there was someone there that was, asking for assistance, any assistance, for food, as they do. And I was just like, oh. I'm like, well, I have some Eggs Benedict in the back. Let me go get it. And I didn't know any better. So I just reached for the first thing that I could, and it was this container of yellow substance, and I gave it to them. I'm like, it's yellow. It must be the eggs. That must be the Eggs Benedict. It's yellow. And let me switch to the cafe. Hold on. So I gave them this container of yellow stuff, and they went on their way. And when I looked back, there was still more stuff. I was just like, what is this? What's the rest of this? And I realized that was the Eggs Benedict. Like the rest of this sandwich thing. And I'm just like, what did I give them? What was it that I gave them? And I had to go Google it, and I realized I gave them the hollandaise sauce. Only the hollandaise sauce. It's like the equivalent of giving them ketchup packets. I gave them ketchup packets to eat instead of a complete full course meal. And I'm like, oh my god! He can't eat that for nutrients. And then I can't eat this. I can't have the full experience of the Eggs Benedict because I gave away the hollandaise sauce. Nice, flawless logic. It was yellow. I thought it was the eggs. It was yellow. I thought it was the hollandaise sauce. I mean, I thought it was the Eggs Benedict because it was yellow. Eggs are yellow, okay? And I couldn't even enjoy the Eggs Benedict afterwards because it didn't have the hollandaise sauce. So I was very sad. I felt so miserable. I felt so miserable. Poor Akiko. I know, right? I know. I feel bad just because I didn't actually give them a meal that they could actually eat. I didn't give them something that they could actually eat. Eggs equals yellow. eggs equals food. Mystery yellow stuff equals mystery egg food. I've never seen an eggs Benedict before. In my defense, I had never seen an eggs Benedict before that moment. I didn't know what an eggs Benedict was. I was just like, maybe it's a soup? Question mark? I don't know what an eggs Benedict. But now I know. Now I know better. Now I know better. Eggs Benedict and hollandaise sauce. I know better now. Anyway, I think in terms of announcement, this upcoming Thursday we are playing Darkest Dungeon again. So I hope you guys are excited and looking forward to that. And then I want to say, you're here. Hi, Koji. How are you doing? Sorry, I keep trying. Sometimes talking, reading, and thinking. You're at work, about to line on your break. End your break? Oh! Oh no, did you hear the Eggs Benedict story? Were you here? Were you listening to my Eggs Benedict story? Still have no idea what that even is beyond that it has eggs. Eggs Benedict. So think of it as like, you know, McDonald's egg sandwich? It's kind of like a egg sandwich, maybe? But then you get this yellow sauce, this hollandaise sauce, and that's supposed to be what makes it special. Supposed to be. Anyway. It's got like ham or something. Alrighty, goodbye. I hope you have a good day at work. And thank you so much for stopping by. I think I might go raid this artist. They are a PNG tuber. They're making chibi art, and it's actually really, it's super duper good. It's really, really good. Super pretty and super good. Their avatar is really adorable. And they make a lot of, they have fat cat emotes. They're adorable. I like it. So we'll go ahead and raid them. There you go. Perfect. Alrighty. I hope you guys enjoyed the card sleeving. I enjoyed it. I loved seeing all of the art. We were able to get through all of the Domina games for the set too. So I'm excited that I got to see all of it, and I can't wait to start playing them. I'm really looking forward to Night Clan. I want to play that, and then I'll be able to tell you guys more about it. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I'll see you guys around. Bye.